Hello YouTube, here we are again at the flying field. Today we're going to look at 360 photographs and how I do them. This isn't a tutorial, this is how I do them. I'm doing this because I've been asked a couple of times after posting 360 photographs on Facebook, and I thought it might be an idea to make a little video. It's the first time we've been able to fly for a while, for one reason or another. So let's get some height and get and do it. Right, first thing you want to do is get to altitude where you want to take your
57
pictures.
feet altitude, 97 feet distance, 0 miles per hour, 89% battery.
And then stop recording.
Recording stopped.
Press the top left hand corner, FPV, and select Pano, which is along towards the right. And then you'll see you've got two new icons on the left hand side of the screen. The one we're going to use today is the globe. Click on the globe and it's ready to rock and roll. So just press go. And now the drone will rotate and take a series of photographs. I'll probably speed this bit up when we get back to the studio. While it's doing this, taking the photographs, I'm just going to point out that the resolution of this section is very poor because it's recorded on a recorder on my phone, a screen capture device on my phone, which is quite low resolution. And the zebra stripes in the sky and other places you see, that's a warning telling me that it's overexposed, but we don't really need to worry about the sky, as you'll see in a bit. But the resolution of the photographs, of course, will be much higher than this, and any video you shoot with your drone will be better resolution than this.
Panorama ended.
And there we go. The drone's taken a series of 22 photographs and moved slightly in between each picture.
57 feet altitude.
As soon as it's done
100 feet distance. 0 miles per hour. 82% battery.
once it's done that, I switch back to video and I shoot a few seconds of video, which will help us to sort out and divide the photographs from each different panorama, but I'll show you that later. Right, well, we're back in the studio now, or my living room, and I've copied the files across from the SD card on the drone to the computer in a folder on my desktop called temp, and there's another folder within that folder called output, which is where I output everything that I make. Now, I mentioned that we shoot a little clip of video at the end of each panorama. As you can see, there's this clip here is a little short clip of video, and then here are all the photographs, 22 of them, all the way across. And then there's another little clip, which is again a little short clip. And then, because I did more than one video, one panorama, there are some other photographs here towards the next clip. So listing these, if we go to sort by name, we'll put them in the order they were named, and you'll find that you've got a video at each end. So we need to make a note that the photographs we're going to use for our panorama, for our 360, is DJI 0445 to DJI 0466. Now we need to open the editor for that. Now I use Microsoft Ice, which is this icon here. Open that, takes a few moments to open. Make it full screen, obviously. New panorama from images. And we go to this PC, desktop temp, and this will only show the photographs. So it's 445 to 466. Hold the shift key and select all of those and open. It now imports them into the Microsoft Image Composite Editor, and we click Stitch, and it thinks about it for a little while and has a little play around, and it's obviously, as you can see, it's aligning the images now, and it's composting, or I always say composting, but they don't seem to be too rotten. Once it's done this, we'll have our 360, not quite 360 because there isn't any sky. That's the problem with the DJI range of drones, they can't look up, so we'll have to do something different with the sky, which we will come on to. Once it's done this, we'll be presented with another image, which is all the images stitched together. I'm going to leave this in real time so you get a good idea of how long it takes. It's only 22 images. I've done this with hundreds of images and it takes forever. Right, there we are. That's our 360 almost image. It's a 360 panorama. It's not at the moment a full 360 globe because there's no sky. Now you can work your way down through these on the right hand side, these settings, and you can play around with those, but I prefer to use spherical. Seems to work quite well. The other thing to be careful of, if you grab hold in the very middle of this grid, you can move the picture sideways. So I always move it so that the important part of the picture is here in the middle, or a bit that is completely unimportant, for instance this bit of sky and ground here, I'll move that over to the edge. That means that all this bit of the image in the middle here, the housing estate and the sports centre, will be in the middle of the picture and not on either end, because it's going to be rolled around in a bit. And if you've got a joint over the buildings like that, you'll have half the building on one end of the picture and half the building on the other end, and sometimes they don't line up. So we'll move that back into the middle so that we've got fairly unimportant bits on the outside which we can fix. And now we go across to crop. Now in this case we don't want to crop it because we need everything, so we don't crop. We just go up here, no crop, and that's ready to go. Export it now. Well, it's fairly straightforward and to export. I normally, because I do most of my stuff for Facebook, and Facebook doesn't like pictures of more than 6,000 by 3,000 resolution, I set the width to 6,000. Enter, and that's down to 29%. Now that's still 12.86 megapixels. It's still a good sized picture, and it's, as I say, Facebook will allow you to upload that. There are other platforms where you can upload much bigger 360s and they work very well, but as I do a lot on Facebook, I always do it for Facebook. So now we export to disk. Quite simple, export to disk, and we'll give it a file name of 360 flying field, and we'll save that in output. It'll write it, and that's done. So that's all we need to do now to make the first bits of our 360. Okay, so now we've made our 360 image, or almost 360 image. We need to add sky. I've been saying that there is no sky. Well, there is some, but there isn't enough. This will make a very distorted 360 global image. So what we need to do now is add some sky. First of all, we need to resize this image to an equirectangular image, which is going to be 6,000 by 3,000. At the moment you can see it's 6000 by 2144, which is wrong size. So we go across to image, canvas size, not image size, canvas size, and we say we want the image to be 6000 by 3000 here, which is fine. And the placement, we want to place the original picture at the bottom of the frame. Lock aspect ratio, it needs to be off because we're changing the aspect ratio of the whole image. So 6000 by 3000, aspect ratio turned off, and highlight to set it at the bottom of the page. And there we go. Now we've got an equirectangular picture of 6000 by 3000 pixels, but the sky is not there really, is it? Now I'm lucky in as much as I have a 360 camera, and I've taken a few photographs of skies which I use as stock. I'm sure you'll be able to find some on the internet somewhere and use them. So we take our sky, which in this case I've got it as a raster, which means that it's a transparent image, if you like. It's rather like a piece of perspex with the sky painted on the top and the bottom half is clear. And you'll see that's 6001 by 3000, which that extra 1 pixel makes it a little bit easier to line up. So we need to copy that. So edit, copy, and then go back to the flying field picture, edit, paste as a new layer, and there's our sky, but we need to move it. So we grab hold of it with this tool and move it up, and you may have to zoom in to just line it up properly with the edges of the existing picture. Now it still looks a bit odd, the sky's not quite right, so using my eraser tool I just work along the joint between the two and expose the bits that of my real sky, the original sky, but being careful not to go too high, because if you do you'll expose this junk at the top. But we can undo that. Just work along like this. Take a little bit of extra care at the ends to make sure that the left hand end and the right hand end are the same, otherwise you'll get a hard joint. Now I think that's about right. A little bit along there, look, we can just tidy that up. Let's zoom in and have a look. There we go. Zoom out again. Now that's ready to save. So file, save as. Now I'm going to save it as the same file name, but add the word sky so that I know this is the one with the sky in it, and save that. And it'll tell me, because of the specified format and save options blah blah blah, it'll merge the layers into one image, which is exactly what we want. And now we have a new image in our folder. We go across to desktop, temp, output, flying field sky. Double click on that to open it, and there we are. That's our image. Now we're done with the editor now for a moment, so we'll close all of those. And now I've got another piece of software called Rico Theatre, or Theatre, which is a free download. We open that, file, open, flying field with sky. Well, before I do that, I'll show you what would happen if I opened it up before I put the sky on it. As you can see, it's quite a weird, and you get this strange effect here because the picture is not equirectangular. So let's open the proper one now. Open flying field with sky, open that, and hey presto, let's put that on a, that'll revolve now. And with theta you can zoom in or zoom out. Now let's see if we can find the join. There it is. You see the sky's not quite perfect there. That's where you've got to be careful to get it just right. But it doesn't really matter because most people aren't going to be looking at the sky that much. That's not the subject. So let that revolve around. Now if you've got a lot of other people in the picture, you can always edit them out with your editor, remove children playing and that sort of thing. But as you can see, there's nobody much. There's a couple of people here, but I'm not going to worry, they can't be recognized. And that's basically it. You've made your 360. There's one more step to do, which we'll do in just a moment. Okay, now we've got our image made. Facebook still won't recognize it as a 360 image. The reason being, the information is wrong. Image information, it doesn't say anything about it being a 360 image. In fact, it doesn't even say what sort of camera was used. As you can see, there's all sorts of information there, but not what we need. So, what I've done, I've downloaded another 360 image from on the internet, made it the right size for my Facebook template, and there it is. That's the photograph I'm going to use as a template. If I bring the information up on that, you'll see that it shows the make of the camera to be a Ricoh, the model Ricoh Theta S. Now all the other information for what we're doing, it doesn't really make any difference, to be honest. So now what we do, we go back to Flying Field Sky and edit, copy the whole picture, go across to Facebook template or FB template, edit, and where is it? Paste this new layer. Now this is important, this bit. Layers, merge all. Where has it gone? There it is. Merge all, flatten. Now you'll see that the image information has got Ricoh, Ricoh Theta S, etc. This is what we need. So close Flying Field Sky and File, Save As, go back to our temporary folder on the desktop, into Output, Flying Field Sky. So we're going to save it with the same file name as the original. Save, it'll moan about it, and just save it. And there we are, that's all ready to go and be uploaded onto Facebook and viewed by all our viewers from all around the world with a bit of luck. Okay, well that just about wraps it up. That's how I do 360s. I'm sure there are other methods. I enjoy doing it this way. It takes a little bit longer perhaps, and there's a few more steps, but I like the results. As I say, there are other platforms where you can upload much larger pictures. Huge, some of them are absolutely incredible. I've seen some fantastically high resolution pictures all over the place. It's very good indeed. So that wraps it up for today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please comment, like and subscribe. Would be really nice if you subscribed. Right, thank you very much. Have a good, safe day. Bye for now.